What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of
The
Play
Call.
What's going on, man? It is Friday night. Y'all know what that means. It's interactive sports talk. And of course, I'm one half of the normal dynamic duo. They call me Box. But as you can see, Mr. Cold as Ice himself, Cool McCain, is not here tonight. But you might argue, or at least I know these two gentlemen would, we've upgraded for the evening because we got Chris CouchCoach and Tyler Ingram in the building tonight.
Oh. What's going on?
I'm sure Cool would disagree that it's an upgrade, but I'm sure you two agree with that. So
yeah. I heard him last night on the sip off when he was promoting it. He was like, "Well, I'm not gonna be there," and I was like, "Wait, hold on. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be okay." My man, Cool.
I don't know what's going on with your internet, man, but you sound like Ultron.
Oh, mine's all messed up.
Yeah, you sound a little like a robot right now.
Let me get out and then come back in.
Got better enough for a second with this video for us, though, so he'll be back in a second. What's going on, Megan? Appreciate you tuning in tonight. Another member of the Sideline Sports Network. So, Chris, man, we're going to talk a little bit tonight, man, about the NFL.
You guys hear me good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
better.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, man, we're gonna talk a little bit tonight about the NFL, man, and being that we're just a little over at the halfway point of the season, I think it's a good time for us to go ahead and start looking at this playoff picture.
Yeah.
So, I think we should start over in the NFC where things are a little more clear, because man, the AFC is wild right now. Let's keep it real. So, when I look at the NFC, let's talk about who's going to win these divisions. So let's start over in your division, Chris, over in the NFC East.
Well,
are we just saying that the Cowboys got this thing wrapped up, or somebody else got a chance?
Yeah.
You know what? In a weird, strange way, I think Philly has a legitimate shot potentially, but I think Dallas' schedule down the stretch is definitely gonna could definitely help them down the stretch. They got some pivotal games coming up the next few weeks, and then they head into some divisional games. So it looks like it could potentially be a one-team race, but I definitely see Philly's within striking distance. I think if they, they at this point, if they just win some games and kind of keep Dallas on their heels, it could potentially. Washington, they're pretty much hanging on by a string, and I hate to say this out loud, but they're hanging on by a thread, and to a point where one game they can pretty much knock them out of the picture. But I think as far as from a wild card standpoint, you just need like 8. You just need to be 9-8 potentially. I think 9-8 could be that 7th spot potentially.
We're gonna definitely talk about who might be in that wild card spot. For me, when I look at it, I think Philly can definitely win some games down the stretch. They've got a pretty nice schedule. The problem for Philly is I don't see another 4 losses on Dallas' schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. You're 4 games behind them, so you got to make that up. And I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Hidden.
And I think like for Philly's case, they almost like. They could, like, you're right, Coach. You're right, Coach, about that. They could probably win 4 or 5 of those games and still get into playoffs, but it is going to be a little bit of a hurdle for them, even with the schedule they have. Like, if they drop to New Orleans this Sunday, then that really hurts them.
So, Tyler, heading over to your division, the NFC North. The Packers, man, they've got a 3-game lead right now. Can Minnesota make this run, or do you think that you guys pretty much have this thing wrapped up?
So I think this is like kind of Minnesota's season this Sunday against the Packers, in my opinion. Like if Minnesota loses to us this weekend, which I'm anticipating, of course. Got to rep my team. But yeah, I think the Packers are winning this division. I think that I don't see the Packers losing a lot of these remaining games. Granted, they play the Rams next week, but then turns back into mostly division games. And, Khalil Mack's out for the season for the Bears. The Lions, they're tying games, but they're not winning games. So I think the Packers are going to win the North again. Yeah.
Wait, man, that for the Lions, man, that was technically improvement.
It is, and they haven't lost in November yet, is what our friend Dom says, I believe. Because they had a bye week and then they tied. So,
yeah,
we'll see how that continues to go.
Yeah, we'll see, right?
What about you, CouchCoach? You see anything different happening there?
I think it's going to be the Packers in a runaway. I'm really curious. I think, like you said, the game against Minnesota this week is definitely going to be the test. I'm kind of weird. Minnesota, I've been kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt. Oh, they've been winning these, been losing these close games. They kind of went over the hump last week against LA. So I'm thinking to myself, should I still trust them now? Has this kind of been like a new revelation for them? But this week could definitely be the telling test. But even with that, Green Bay pretty much it's almost similar to Dallas, where it's pretty much a stretch where I see a clear pathway for both for Green Bay at this point.
Yeah, and I think with Minnesota, even this week, like Minnesota has led crazy stat. Minnesota has led every single football game they have played this season.
Yep.
So Minnesota is going to be in games. I even anticipate the game this Sunday being close because that's what Minnesota does. They play teams tough, and they're gonna. They might even take a lead at one point, but they can't finish. And that's the issue I have with Minnesota. And like them to go on a run means they have to finish football games. That's really hard for me to say when that's been their whole, issue all season.
Yeah.
So a division that is not going to be easy to pick a winner in, the NFC South. Just to kind of lay this out for you guys, if you don't already know, the Bucs sitting at 6-3, the Saints are sitting at 5-4, but they've got question marks all over the place, especially at quarterback. And then Carolina sitting at 5-5, with Cam looking really good last week. So this one's a little bit more a toss-up, man. I mean, the Bucs definitely don't look as invincible as they did last year. So what do you guys think about this one?
I think two teams are going to get in. I think it's going to come down to who wants it more out of Carolina and New Orleans with these last stretch of games. I think Tampa's going to get in. I still think Tampa's going to even win the division. Maybe they don't, but I do think there's definitely two teams out of this out of the South. So I think it's going to be, how New Orleans can play and if their defense can step up despite having the Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill. Or is Cam going to resurge this team to go on a streak right now and make a run right now? But I do think one of those two teams are going to be a wild card this season.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that the Bucs, although they are not playing well right now, it's hard for me to imagine that with all the talent on that team, they're not going to get it together at some point. Yeah. So I do feel like they are going to win this division, but they're not going to win it by as much as they should.
I mean, it also helps that New Orleans has a win over Tampa. That might be something down the stretch of the season. If Carolina and New Orleans are getting into a battle, they're going to start looking at those division games, look at who played Tampa. And I mean, that might benefit the Saints down the road. What's weird is like the Saints, like I don't trust them. They have quarterback issues. But they also didn't have Kamara last week. And when Kamara is not playing for the Saints, that team is lost because everything works through him. He's in their passing department. He slams it. Like without Kamara there, they're lost.
Yeah. So Megan was asking if Hill was bad for New Orleans.
Think so. I know.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, clear because I know we caused that injury in that Washington game about a month ago, but I think he's been cleared. Might have been cleared like last week or so, but yeah, he's been cleared. Yeah, I think so. Okay. But yeah.
and then head over to the NFC West. So, since this is my division, I'll kind of give you guys my thoughts. When I look at this division, the Arizona Cardinals right now are sitting at 8-2. The Rams are sitting at 7-3. The Niners are sitting at 4-5. So the Niners aren't exactly out of it yet. But I feel like it's a really big uphill climb for them to have a chance to win the division because they did lose both games to Arizona. That's going to be super hard to overcome.
So it's trying to make a wild card push.
Yeah. What I saw out of the Rams the last 2 weeks is we found out that if you bully them like Tennessee did and like San Francisco did, they don't know how to deal with it. They are definitely constructed to stop passing attacks. They do not deal well with ground and pound. I think, fortunately for the Rams, there's not a lot of ground and pound teams out there. So they should still be able to win some games. But I don't think they're going to be able to overtake Arizona. The only concern I have with Arizona is 2 weeks in a row, you had a game time decision for Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. Generally, you have a game time decision 1 week, you play the next week.
Right.
So the fact that they didn't play the next week tells me either you're playing games with your injury report, like your Bill Belichick over here, or these guys are having setbacks. And if they're having setbacks, that's concerning for Arizona long term.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And San Francisco, to speak on them, like they're very much could go on a run and make a wild card push. I just want to see what your boys can do now. I mean, granted, we all know that Kyle Shanahan seems to have Sean McVay's number. I mean, he's won the last 5 times they played. So I want to see what they do outside of the Rams.
Yeah, and I will tell you, San Francisco has a very soft schedule to finish up here. Seattle's obviously going to be a 50-50 game when they play them. Yeah. They're playing Jacksonville this week. They've got the Vikings, which will be, a tough game. Like Tyler said, the Vikings play people tough. But the most losable game they probably have left on their schedule is Tennessee.
Yep.
Yeah.
So lots of teams with some soft schedules down the stretch, man.
Right.
In a season where it's starting to turn into one big upset every weekend for like the past 3 or 4 weeks now. So like we don't know who it's going to be, but somebody's not safe this week. Nobody's safe.
Right.
It might not even just be one somebody. It might be multiple somebodies.
Right.
Yeah, it could
be. 2 weeks ago where everybody, all the divisional leaders at the time lost 2 weeks ago. Crazy.
I know. I have a buddy who's talking about that Ravens and Bears game. He's like, "Well, Khalil Mack's out for a season, so the Ravens are going to win that game." And I'm like, "Man, it's hard to say that's a gimme even in Soldier Field. You don't know,
right? You don't know." and then you think about it, they coming up being fled against Miami, so
yeah. And Justin Fields is starting to play better, so you just you really don't know,
right? I mean, Megan just pointed out in the chat, Tennessee's defense this year. I mean, this is a team that you figured the offense was going to carry them, right? And they went out, they got Julio.
Right.
Now Julio's out. You got anything of his name right now. Henry. You got Henry out. So here you are with some of your biggest weapons out on offense, and you're winning football games with the defense that got gashed last year.
Mm-hmm. And I was super hard on Tennessee last year. Like that was their their defense was Swiss cheese, right? Like their defense got scored on at will. They couldn't do anything. Now that secondary is turned into something fierce. Kevin Byard and all those boys, like they can. Yeah, they're definitely no picnic for anyone. They're going on a run right now. They've been the biggest surprise to me because even though Tennessee's always had a good team, I didn't expect them to jump out this good, especially when they first struggled in the beginning of the season, and now they're hitting their stride. So,
right, yeah. And like to Megan's point, because it was funny because we always used to be like, if you had a head coach, a former linebacker, and a Bill Belichick disciple, you would think to yourself, "Oh man, he's got to have the best defense in the NFL." And he used to, and then like, no, his offense is carrying the team. And we used to always say that was like probably one of the most perplexing thing last year as far as the makeup of that team. This is like, it's
And I honestly had question marks when Henry went down. I think as everyone did on offense, because I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, Tannehill's the type of quarterback that is built off of the play action. So he needs the ball to be running in order to have success late. That's just always who Tannehill has been. But then you insert Foreman, you insert McNichols, and all of a sudden it's still working. So, kudos to Tennessee right now.
Yep. Yeah. Adjusting. Yep.
I mean, neither one of those guys are obviously Derrick Henry, but they're at least giving that running game enough to make it happen. So here's the question. So we've all pretty much agreed that more than likely we're gonna have Tampa, the Packers, the Cardinals, and who's the other one we said?
Cowboys.
The
Cowboys. Yeah.
So. Feels so wrong to even say that out loud.
Who are you telling?
So who's going to be our 3 wild cards in the NFC?
Well, I think the Rams are going to lock one of those up. Just where they're at 7-3. So I think the Rams are going to be one. I think, man. See, this is where it gets interesting for me is that last spot between Minnesota, San Francisco, and Philly, because I truthfully think the Saints or the Panthers, one of them are going to beat the other one out of the playoff chase. That's just how I think. So I think 2 will come from the South, whether it's the Saints or the Panthers, and then it's pick out of who you want out of San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Minnesota. Minnesota can't finish. San Francisco, has to go down a little bit of a run. If they played like last week, absolutely. San Francisco can make a push. And then Philly, they have a little bit of a softer schedule, so there is a path to Philly to get there, especially the way that Jalen Hurts has been playing as of late.
Yeah, big time.
I think I actually trust the Panthers a little bit more than I trust the Saints right now. I think the Panthers at least have a decent defense. I think Cam Newton does kind of spark that offense, and people are going to go to those games a lot more inspired. Sam Darnold's out. They bring back Cam Newton. He had that 15-1 season. He had that MVP season. Sure, he should have, jumped on the ball in the Super Bowl when he fumbled it, of course. But besides all of that, Cam Newton gives him a spark, and I think the Panthers are going to go on a run and win a wild card.
Yeah, I would say for me, the 3 teams that I'm going to really look at, I feel that the Rams, like you said, they're pretty much locked into one of those spots. I feel like that's already a given. So then you have to kind of figure out who are the other 2 teams going to be. I feel like Carolina could definitely be one of those teams. They're playing pretty decent defense, and if they can just get the offense to match on a consistent basis, they're actually going to be able to do some stuff. But I'm actually feeling pretty good about Philly's chances, just looking at their remaining schedule. And, I'm holding out. Maybe this is a little bit of a fan optimism that the team that showed up Monday night is going to continue to show up. I'm hoping that wasn't just because we were playing the Rams, but because we were so freaking embarrassed by the way we played against the Cardinals the week before. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping my team is locked in and focused now. So I'm thinking Niners, Eagles, and Rams is the 3 I'm going to go with.
Okay. We got some of these comments here as well. Cool has got Philly, the Niners, and the Vikings. Okay, and Megan agreed. Same. Tyler, Panthers are interesting. Yeah.
So interesting that they're both just taking the Rams out of that slot then.
I don't. Yeah, the Rams I think have got this locked up for a wild card, but
I mean, I just don't think the Rams are built to beat physical football teams, which is going to be really problematic for them in the playoffs. Because at some point in the playoffs, you're going to run into somebody that's going to play physical against you.
And I think what's funny, we looked at because I think mine's going to be the Rams. I think they'd be the 5th seed, and they'll have a date with Tampa Bay, which and theoretically we thought that was going to be the NFC Championship game, but that might be a super wild card matchup at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's something.
Yeah. And neither of those teams could be in the NFC Championship game too.
Correct.
You know?
Right. So then I also have my 6th seed is probably going to be a cross between the Saints. I think I had the Saints, and then it's going. I think what's going to come down to that 7th seed is either going to be Carolina or Minnesota. For some odd reason, I got Minnesota in this one. I think they finally kind of figured out the way to execute in the fourth quarter. They got an interesting schedule. Obviously, just with the simple fact of they got you guys what's the week 17. That's going to be a pivotal game. Then also they go to San Francisco. They got Detroit, so they kind of got a good situation with that. So I think if they can kind of gain ground, especially in that San Francisco matchup, I wouldn't say that's a de facto elimination game, but that's going to be a big game. So and then they got the Rams the day after Christmas, so I think that's another kind of game as a barometer. And luckily they got them at home, so we'll see the makeup of this team. But I think if Minnesota can kind of survive those type of tests, and I think they could get in with a 9-8 record potentially, so they can win. They can lose 3 more games. I think they could be in.
Well, if I had to give my 3, I mean, I have to put, like, I understand what you guys are saying about the Rams in the comments, but the Rams are 7-3. So I think the Rams are going to lock up a playoff spot. I would say Carolina, and then I'd probably say Philadelphia because of the schedule. It's probably who I would go with.
Yeah, I mean, I would be more concerned about the Rams if these 2 games that they just lost, if their opponents didn't have something in common.
True.
They got bullied in both games.
Yep.
They're not going to run into a whole lot of bullies because most of the NFL has gone to a finesse style. Yep. And I think that's playing against the Rams' strength. If you're going to go out there and try to finesse them, they can out-finesse you. But they do obviously not know how to play against smash-mouth football. Tennessee showed it, and then we went in there and basically duplicated what Tennessee did.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, I do agree that at some point Matthew Stafford is going to blow it, regardless.
As
do I.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to make sure that everybody's clear on that.
Especially if they go to Tampa. I think if they go to Tampa, it's one and done.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if I like them against any of them. Right? If they go to Arizona, if they go to Tampa, Dallas, if they go to Dallas, if they go to Green Bay, like I don't really like it for any of them.
Deja vu all over again. if they go to Green Bay,
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what, them Rams do not want to come to Lambeau Field and play in that cold. Like they lost last year, but they for sure don't want to come and play that team right now.
Well, hey man, all I'm gonna say is if I'm a Rams fan, I am not wanting to go into Lambeau Field with Matthew Stafford as my quarterback.
No, hey. We've been there, done that, and he's a part of that reason why the Lions hadn't won in 30 years in Green Bay.
Right.
So, yeah.
No. Yeah.
Don't. Already saw that one. Don't need to see the
correct.
Sequel, right?
Correct.
So Megan says she don't want to play Green Bay either.
All right, better go and get that number 1 seed, y'all. That's the key. Get that number 1 seed.
I think Dallas has a real good shot at getting to the NFC Championship this year, though.
Oh, no.
Man, I don't know, man. There's just something.
I know, Coach. I know.
I keep waiting, again, man, this might just be like blind optimism, hope, whatever, man. But just something in me feels like at some point, Dallas is gonna fall off.
It's possible. Yeah.
It is November. We ain't hit December yet. We know how that happens.
Yeah.
We'll see, man.
True.
We'll see.
So hopefully.
So Megan said that nobody in Dallas can handle the snow. Y'all better host somebody not Green Bay out for you. Then. That's all I can tell you.
Yep, get that number 1 seed, and
y'all better hope y'all playing in Tampa. Ain't no snow in Tampa,
right?
And
all right, so let's go ahead on over to the AFC. So a couple weeks ago, man, I think everyone would have said that the Bills are running away with the AFC East, but New England's playing good football right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, I'm still going to pick Buffalo to win this division, but it's going to be a lot closer than we thought it was going to be.
They're both going to get in. That's what's going to happen.
I could see it. I could see it.
It doesn't matter who's going to have a home playoff game the first week.
Yeah. They might even play each other in the playoffs the way it's starting to, set up. Right. They may have a three-time thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And they still got to play twice right now left in the season. So it's going to be crazy. They might it might be like Cleveland and Pittsburgh last year, in which they played twice, and then they they played the last week of the season, then they played in the wild card next round.
Yep.
Might be like that.
If you think that's crazy, think about the fact that there's a possibility that if San Francisco and the Rams do both get in, you're obviously going to have Arizona as the division champion in that situation. Yep. You could actually have somebody have to play not one but two teams from their division in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Weird.
Yeah. I would not want to be in that position. I will tell you.
No.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
So are we all picking Buffalo or
I'm picking Buffalo?
New England?
Yeah, I'm picking Buffalo.
I'm picking Buffalo because I've been telling people in Western New York to get your airplane tickets ready for LA. So I gotta stay 10 toes down on that one on my statement early in the season. So yeah,
I'll be honest. Like I do another show called The Gauntlet, and we did Super Bowl predictions. And of course, I rode with my Packers, put them in the Super Bowl, but I had them playing Buffalo in the Super Bowl. So I kind of have to stick with my prediction too, and say Buffalo's gonna win this division. Because I just don't know if Buffalo's gonna get in as a wild card and then have to go on this run.
Right.
My concern about Buffalo as they get into the playoffs is I don't know what they're going to look like in the playoffs. I mean, obviously Josh Allen is amazing. Stephon Diggs is amazing. They've got the passing game. The offense looks great, but come playoff time, man, you got to be able to run the football and you got to play good defense.
And they got to be able. And they got to be able, like you said on the ladder, they don't know how to stop the run either. They can't run it. They can't stop the run.
Right.
And what can you? And what travels in January? Oh, playing defense and playing football. So,
and they don't trust their running game, which I just don't understand. Like you look at especially the Tennessee game, that 4th and 1, that questionable play calling, and I think to myself, man, you really just don't trust your run game in that predicament. So I like that can bold, like you said, if you have a scenario like that, imagine you go back to Tennessee and you got to play them in January. You gonna do that again?
Man, I tell you what, though, I might waver in a couple of weeks because Tennessee has been just growing on me and growing on me and growing on me as the season has went.
And I'm ready for them to kind of take a fall. So, you know what I'm saying? Because you know how it is. You get high on the team and then something happened.
Yeah.
And they lose and you lose all faith. Like Buffalo. Buffalo, I think, especially after Jacksonville loss, I was like, ooh, we might need to kind of temper these emotions.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, well maybe it'll be Lamar Jackson's time, and then all of a sudden you watch him get beat by Miami, and you're like, oh man, and you're like, oh dude, am I really going back to the Chiefs, man? Because all of a sudden the Chiefs might go on a run, so the AFC's wild right now.
And then last night I wanted to drink the Patriots Kool-Aid because even though they beat Atlanta 25-0. Still, but it's Atlanta though. But it's just the same thing as we just get, especially in the AFC, we get high and we get low, and it's just like you just can't trust it at this point.
And so even out of curiosity, do y'all think Atlanta chose to not kick a field goal and put 3 points on the board because they were aware that the final score would be 28-3?
You know what's funny that you say that now, because a lot of it you like, especially at the end, you're like, all right, what are you doing? Like, what's with this play calling late in the game like this? Like, why? What's up with that? And it's funny that you say that now. Like, now that makes sense. Like, it's still a 25-point lead. I just thought about that. Oh my God, I just thought about that. There's still a 25-point. They still won by 25, and then the inverse. Oh my God. They cursed. They cursed.
Word back and say, yeah, I agree. Buffalo won, but New England has improved a lot. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Yeah. So going over to the AFC North. You got the Steelers, and the Ravens, both sitting at 3 losses, but the Steelers obviously have a tie. You got the Bengals sitting at 5-4, and Cleveland sitting at 5-5. I mean, another wide open division, man.
Yeah, and I think one of those teams is going to get in. It's whether it's one of those teams I think is going to get on the run because, like, look, Cleveland's really been disappointing, honestly, this season. I know anyone that's been watching, Cliff was on the show a couple weeks. They've been really disappointing, and their defense, they have so much talent on that defense, but they got this defensive coordinator who is so bad that he doesn't know how to play call. Joe Woods, he needs to be fired. And then on the flip side, you have Nick Chubb dealing with COVID. So I'm going to watch him this week because I do think when Nick Chubb is in that lineup, that Browns team plays a lot different.
Yeah, he's a difference maker for sure.
So I do think Cleveland still has the talent, technically on paper, to go on a little bit of a run and maybe make a wild card push. I do think they still aren't out of it yet.
Yeah. I'm going to give Baltimore this division just because of Lamar Jackson.
I agree with that. I have Baltimore as well.
But, man, it's a close one.
It is. And like you said, I've been on Baltimore, just like a simple fact of just what they've done, just a simple fact of losing all the, J.K. Dobbins, all those guys, running backs and all that. But then a part of me is like, didn't they do something uncharacteristic and then just kind of fall back into place? I'm gonna say Baltimore, but then I still kind of want to kind of put my toe in the pool for the Cleveland Browns. A part of me, they're disappointed, but that, like we said, they do have a team. If they put it together, they do have a team that travels. I think if they can get healthy, I think if Baker can be, can at least stay a little bit healthier, potentially, that defense can kind of get themselves together. They got a shot. Like, it's just, but like you said, they just disappointed week in and week out. Like, I think the thing that killed me was when they lost to the Steelers. It was on Halloween, and it's just like, how y'all lost? And Pittsburgh didn't even have a kicker.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Cleveland is just that team, man, this year that, they're just not living up to the expectations of what you expect from them. I mean,
right.
You have, Baker was playing pretty good. You had a running game because even with the Ernest in there, you're playing, your running game has been nice. You have receivers. You have talent at every level on the defense. It makes no sense how this team is not running away with this division.
Right.
And I think I think the Bengals have been overachieving all season.
Yeah.
Like, you look on the Bengals on paper and you're like, I don't really think that team. I mean, Joe Burrow's leading the league in interceptions too, but people don't talk about that. They look at the Bengals record and they're like, well, they're 5-4, but I don't trust them.
But look, I will say, man, I said on this show on draft night that the Bengals were stupid for drafting a wide receiver instead of getting some protection. I was wrong. Jamar Chase is an absolute monster.
I think
he's in the rookie of the year, Chase. Still,
we honestly all said the same thing because we looked at just the injuries that he's had, and he needs somebody to protect him. But
So Megan was asking, Debo will play. Debo will be fine.
He's been a truck for you guys this season. Yeah. I know my fantasy team loves him.
Yeah.
He taking chains.
I would be surprised if Debo doesn't play because everything that he said this week has indicated that he plans to play. So, all right, going over to the AFC South. So we've got the Titans, who we've talked a little bit about already. Then the next closest team is the Colts at 5-5. I don't think any of us are even going to sit here and entertain Jacksonville or Houston. So,
nah.
I'm just taking Tennessee in a runaway on this one.
Yeah, me too. And I don't even think that. Yeah, I don't think the Colts are making the playoffs. I don't think the Colts are making the playoffs either.
Yeah, and the only thing, it's Tennessee, and then we know on January 10th, Urban Meyer gonna have a first plane class ticket straight to Ohio, back to Ohio. It was far. That's the only thing that we can guarantee at this point.
Listen, I had Urban Meyer week 12 medical emergency, so we're coming up close. Coming up close. So I'm hoping my Niners can put the nail in the coffin this week, so that heart attack can happen next week, and he can go ahead.
Yeah, it's gonna take them straight to LA.
Look, just so that people know that what I mean by that heart attack.
Yeah.
Put it in quotation for you though.
Yeah. It's gonna take him. He want to be straight sent to LA. So
I don't know what that's about. Cool. I'm assuming that you typed something wrong.
But
I'm assuming you talk about Urban Meyer there. So heading over to the AFC West, you have the Chiefs who actually bounced back. The question is, are they back or is it because they play the Raiders? Then you have the Raiders, and you also have the Chargers at 5-4. So you've got 2 5-4 teams, a 6-4 team, and then you got Denver, who their defense is playing pretty nice, sitting at 5-5.
Yeah, Denver's the one I don't trust out of the 4. I will say that for sure. Like, I just don't think they're going to go on a run and make the playoffs. I do think the Chargers and the Raiders have a possibility, and I think the Chiefs kind of, I actually don't know how I feel about the game this week, but I do think the Chiefs are good enough to sustain a playoff berth this year. I do think Kansas City can do that.
Yeah. The Chargers are inconsistent. They're another team where you get high one week with them, and then it's just like it's the lows. Then the Raiders, they do this every year. They have that November, December collapse. They do great. And then when it comes, daylight savings time, they just fold. Denver, I kind of was on them too. They're another team that's been inconsistent. They've had good wins. Obviously, the win against Dallas kind of then they fall flat against the Eagles last week, so that's kind of brought them back down. But Kansas City, I think and it's weird where I think they will win this division. I think it's just to a point where I think they really realize that, hey, let's just calm it down. Let's just play our game again. Patrick Mahomes, I'm seeing now. I'm hoping he stop going for home runs each play. Just hit singles, doubles, and triples, and you'll still do what you need to do. So I think once that happens,
I think the West and the AFC, and I'm not comparing divisions, but I just think in terms of standings wise, it's similar to the South and the NFC. And what I mean by that is I think Kansas City and Tampa are going to win their divisions, but I think the other two teams, whether it's Carolina and New Orleans or the Chargers and the Raiders, I think one of those teams, they're going to battle each other to see which one of them gets in the playoffs and which one's sitting at home.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't trust the Raiders.
I don't either.
I don't trust the Broncos. The Chargers have the most legitimate chance outside of Kansas City, but they're so inconsistent. I can't trust them. I feel like at the end of the day, Kansas City has the talent that compared to the other teams in their division that they're going to find a way to win the division and squeak it out. But I'm not looking at them as a real threat in the AFC playoffs. I'm not looking at them as a threat in the big picture of the AFC.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy when you consider how well they've actually played and made it to the Super Bowl the last 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That they've just had this complete fall off.
Exactly.
All right, so we're looking at the Bills. I think we all agreed the Raiders or the Ravens with CouchCoach saying that the Browns, if they get their stuff together, can make that run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
We all agreed with the Titans, and we're all picking the Chiefs.
Yep.
So who's your 3 wild cards in the AFC?
I'd say Chargers because I do think that win over Kansas City early in the season might help them. So I'm going to say Chargers. I'm going to say the Browns. I think the Browns get on a little bit of a run. I think they're going to make a push for it. And the last one, New England for sure. Those are mine.
All right. So I got New England. And if you think about it, there could be a potentially whoever's that 5th seed might have to go to.
You have New England and Buffalo both in. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I got the Patriots as a wild card. The Steelers. I think even though that tie might mess them up, I think it's one of the things where it's interesting. I think they got a shot. And then I got Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to be my final wild card. So I got 3 teams in the North making it.
So I'm also going New England.
Mhm.
I'm thinking Cleveland as well. I think if they make a run, whoever ends up winning between them and Baltimore, the other one's going to make it as a wild card.
Yeah.
For my third team, I actually think just because the defense at some point is going to start getting them through some of these games, I'm going to go with Indianapolis.
Wow.
They're an interesting team. They're a team that they're almost like the Minnesota Vikings of the AFC, where they've had some really heartbreaking losses, and kind of one of those things where if
Megan said the Steelers are trash, garbage.
I don't have no faith in them
Hey.
either, especially time with Detroit, in which they just kind of gave that game away. I
it
mean,
was cold and raining, and Mason Rudolph was
Mason Rudolph.
bro.
Mason
It
Rudolph
was
was Mason Rudolph. That's all you need to know.
Ben come back. At least with Ben, hey, he throw it 10 yards. Hey, just do your thing, Ben.
But let me tell you something.
10 yards.
Couch Coach, I gotta tell you something. This is why I don't trust Pittsburgh. You want me to tell you why? The real reason why?
Yeah.
Because TJ Watt ain't playing, and they got to start Taco Charleston at the position.
Boy.
I ain't trusting Pittsburgh, man.
Right. Oh wait, what's she got hurt? Devin Bush got hurt, right? Yeah, he got hurt in that game. Oh, that's
up, man.
Yeah, I can't trust Pittsburgh, man. Look, when Pittsburgh was actually relatively healthy last year and they were on that run and people kept talking about them, me and Cole were like, they're not that good.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, no, look at their record. Look at their record. And that record started getting worse and worse and worse.
And who beat them first?
So like when I look at this, man, I just, to me, it's the exact same Pittsburgh team from last year.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll get any better.
But they don't have 11-0 start this
right.
year.
That's the only difference. They have no cushion this year.
Right.
And that defense is falling apart on them with injuries. So yeah, I'm not trusting them either. So mentioned Jamar Chase earlier, man. Do you guys see anybody else that you think has a good chance to be the offensive rookie of the year?
Mac Jones. It's between one of those two to me.
Yeah, he's really gained, especially after this win last night. And especially if I would see if the Patriots have double-digit wins, which more likely they will, he will be in that because, like we said, it's a quarterback. And, they generally go for the quarterbacks. Yeah. And if he's successful...
Personally, if I was voting right now, I would give it to Chase. I have to look at it as like, Chase is 5th in yards right now in the league and 5th in touchdowns. So like Mac Jones has had a pretty good season. He's 7th in yards. He's 14th in touchdowns, but Chase is up with the cream of the crop. So I have to,
he's amongst elite wide receivers at this point. Like he's at the table statistically of guys that, who have been putting in work years and years out. But
plus he's on the Bengals.
Right.
You've got to say that, right? Like I know they have a receiving core in which a lot of mouths have to be fed, and he's still doing this. So
because I figured him and T. Higgins was going to be kind of neck and neck, but there's a clear wide receiver one in it for the Cincinnati Bengals.
100. Yep. 100.
So, but yeah, I think I would agree. It's definitely between those two guys. Chase is also my pick right now for who I would personally vote for. But I mean, they do like to give it to quarterback, so I won't be shocked if Matt Jones gets it.
Right.
Yeah.
What about on the defensive side of the ball?
This is a runaway right now. If it ain't Michael Parsons on your list, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know what list you're looking at. I think Michael Parsons running away with it right now.
Yeah, that guy number 11 for that team in the blue.
to quote Jerry Jones, he's as pure as mother's milk.
Oh my gosh.
A million reason why I hate this team.
What's crazy too is DeMarcus Lawrence goes down. He gets filled at the position because of all the defensive line injuries, and then he just thrives in it. right? Like you thought it was going to go away. He was going to take a little bit of a slump. Nah, dude just has 58 tackles, 6 sacks, and a forced fumble this season. He's running away with it right now.
Right.
So Megan agrees with Mike, and she also agrees that Jerry is so weird.
That's her squad
Correct.
right there. Megan in here giving us the Cowboys comments here. I love it.
You know when your owner says something that's so creepy that even the fans are like, nah, bro. Just
Right.
What's funny is like every now and then when Megan and me are like having a funny like a serious talk or something, I'll send her that like creepy Jerry Jones wink when he's just like was winking Jeffy. I always just send it at like the most inappropriate times. Just funny.
Love it. So maybe what's not such a runaway? Who y'all thinking for MVP this year?
You know, it's funny.
He's going to be a quarterback, I'll tell you
right,
that.
Obviously. Even though he had a bad game last week, I still think it's going to be Tom Brady. I think what he's doing, and at the age of 44, this man is 27 touchdowns. I think almost 2,800 passing yards.
2870. Yeah, 2870.
And I'm like, this man is 44 years old. I remember this man when I was in middle school, and I'm almost 40 years old.
What's weird is I think Tom Brady has the better numbers, but I think the MVP at the end of the season is still going to be Josh Allen. And the reason why I think it's going to be Josh Allen, honestly, is that as much as we all get on them for not running the football, they don't run the football, and his stats are going to even get better and better as the season goes on. So Josh Allen's mine.
Yeah. Josh Allen definitely is in that conversation. Lamar Jackson, I think, is in that conversation because he's literally carrying. I mean, if you want to actually go by the actual definition of the name of the award, the most valuable player,
yeah,
as Lamar. In like the person that means the most to their team.
Yes,
it's got to be Lamar, doesn't it? I mean,
yes, because especially with and he's a dual threat, so he's a guy that can compensate losing like the J.K. Dobbins and all the other running backs they've lost this season, and like the games where it showed up, that's when he had, like I remember against Kansas City the second week 2, he had 100 some yards rushing, and
he's on offense a lot because that defense doesn't know how to tackle anybody.
So Megan points out Dak is currently third in MVP voting. So definitely another name.
Yeah, Dak's having a great season.
Yeah.
Last week, aside, coming back from COVID, Aaron Rodgers is played really good. His numbers are up there in that conversation. So
I'd be disappointed if they gave it as a Packers fan, even if he got it now, because this season's been so much about that defense. But
yeah. Which, by the way, your defense has been playing much better. So, So, Megan, I will say, you said that Dak is definitely the comeback player of the year. Got a guy on my team that might be in consideration for that named Nick Bosa also. So, that out there.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one.
Because Nick Bosa has played really well this season.
Yes.
So,
yeah, but we know how
if the rest of my defense would join him, that would be great.
Right. And we all know that number 4 for the team in Arlington, Texas, because of course, just the simple fact of how the popularity of the team, and then if they they're successful, like as we kind of double-digit wins compared to last year having only 6 wins. So yeah, I definitely think he's going to be the front runner.
Who, Dak?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to somewhat be a runaway. Unfortunately.
So Cool says Kyler Murray in that conversation for MVP.
Yeah.
And Megan does give me
if he comes, pick. And the thing is, if he comes back soon, because he missed 2 games already.
Yeah, he can't miss too many games.
Yeah, I think so no more game time decisions or any Bill Belichick chicory.
I mean, what are the Vegas odds? It's Josh Allen, Tom Brady, pretty much 1 and 2.
I don't know. I haven't actually looked at what the actual odds are. Megan says Murray. She thinks is number 1 MVP votes right now, though. So,
even with the games, okay. I'm gonna stick with Josh Allen, I guess. And you, who'd you say? Box, who'd you say? Lamar?
I would say Lamar possibly right now, but I gotta be honest, man. I think it's too early for me to really like give it to anybody yet.
Yeah.
I need to see what's gonna happen for the rest of the season before I really decide.
Right, because when you lock down one, then like it goes down, it comes crashing down.
Right. Right. I'm saying Josh Allen and the Bills are going to lose to the Colts on Sunday. Like, we don't know, right? We don't know.
And then,
Yeah, I mean,
right.
Yeah, I mean, because look, Josh Allen, they could lose enough games and New England sneaks in and wins that division, and then all of a sudden, any conversation about him is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because we know how the NFL is. If you don't win your division, you're not even in the conversation.
Correct. If you ain't hosting a home playoff game, nah.
So, I mean, unless you just really blew everybody away, that's your only hope. So yeah. Real quick, man, we're going to shift gears. Cause we only got about 10 minutes left, and we still got to get our picks for the weekend. What are y'all's thoughts on this college football playoff?
Man, I hate it. Please expand that.
Yeah,
Please put it to 8 teams at least.
I like it, but only if everything plays out the way it is. I just hope the committee. The thing is, I just want the committee to be smart. So on December the 5th, I just want them to be smart. Because everything's gonna play itself out. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: if Alabama losing the SEC championship with 2 losses and they're in and Cincinnati's out,
oh my God, cancel
college football until
I'm with you.
The 12-team expansion. Because I swear I think that could potentially happen. I'm telling you, because something about that Cincinnati, they just keep on. Because remember, they had them ahead of Michigan State. I know, no, it was Michigan because Michigan ended up losing. I forgot
the Texas Longhorn fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Shout out to Kansas. But hey, I mean, I hope it plays out.
I'm gonna say something that most people don't have the courage to say.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama deserves a lot of the credit they've gotten because you know what? They've won a lot of national championships. They've been like the cream of the crop for a while now. So they deserve a little bit of leeway. But if you look at this team and you honestly evaluate them, they are not a top 4 team.
No.
They are not anywhere near the level of what we expect from Alabama football. They're just not.
Yeah, and even though, Cincinnati plays in the American Conference, you can't just keep punishing teams for doing their job every week.
It did.
Well,
they're 10-0. They have a win over Notre Dame.
Exactly. And think about that. And that's why it's you.
And if they win this week, they get a win over SMU. SMU's not a bad football team.
They're ranked, right? Because SMU is 25th, I think, or something. Or close. They're,
they have like 2 losses on the season, but they've had a good season. So
right.
Well, my issue too is like you're being inconsistent in the way that you're grading people, right? Like you want to say when you talk about Alabama, you want to talk about how they beat a A&M team that's like in the top 15. It's like, but they were unranked when they lost to them.
Correct.
So if you only just go back to like whatever the person's highest ranking is, then Florida State should be ranked because they beat a top 10 North Carolina team. We all know that North Carolina team won the top 10 team.
At the time, correct.
And I don't deserve to be ranked either. Just
and Wake Forest, like, and now, for the life of me, I do not understand how Wake Forest is still like in the top 10.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And then, like you said, Cincinnati went to Notre Dame and won a football game in October. And the committee, that's the thing that kills me about the committee. It's almost, it feel like they have a distant memory. But let Alabama win and it's subjective. But
Alabama loses to Texas A&M and Cincinnati loses to Notre Dame, who's in the top 10, who has 1 loss, who is Cincinnati. Come on, bro.
You understand how hard it is to win a football game in Notre Dame?
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if they would have beat Cincinnati, they would have put that in the factor, and Notre Dame probably would have been like in 4th. Well, they beat a hard-fought Cincinnati team that was undefeated. But can Cincinnati use Notre Dame as an argument? No.
I know.
It's too much inconsistencies. But I'm telling you, we're flipping chairs of Alabama with 2 losses make it to the college football playoff.
We moved the furniture. I got you.
Right.
I'll flip chairs with you. I'll flip chairs with you. I got you.
We here for the Bearcats.
Right. Exactly.
So before we move on from college football, I do just want to, just go ahead and say real quick, last week my co-host was telling me about how, Florida State fans are going to be a little bit sad this week. And Chiefs are here, baby. My teams are 2-0 against your teams this year. I just a bit of a hard time. So let's go ahead and jump into these NFL picks, man, and we'll definitely have to have you guys on a little later in the season to talk a little NBA since we didn't get to it tonight. But we'll definitely have you in to do that later on.
Cool.
All right, so first up, we know who my co-host is going to probably take in the chat over here, but we got the Saints at the Eagles.
I'm going to Eagles too on this one. I like the way Jalen Hurts has been playing lately. I'm going Eagles.
They're at home. Give me Phil. Eagles fail.
Yeah, I don't trust New Orleans quarterback situation. I'm also going to go Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We got the Dolphins at the Jets.
I'm going Dolphins. Dolphins got some momentum after beating Baltimore. They're going to come in. They're going to roll the Jets. Go Miami.
Yeah, give me Miami over the Joe Flacco New York Giant.
That's right. Flacco's playing too. Yes. Yeah, give me Miami. Lock Miami down there.
It's not 2012 anymore. So
yeah, I'm also gonna take Miami.
Miami might put a hurt on Joe Flacco the way that Miami played this last week.
Right.
Miami might blitz him up, man.
Somebody's gonna win this game, so
Right, facts.
Oh, all right, we got the football team at the Panthers.
Man, I'm sorry, Coach. I'm going Panthers. I gotta go Cam Newton right now.
It's all good. I'm superstitious. I had Tampa Bay beating us. I got Carolina beating us, and I'm gonna wear my Legend of Taylor Heineke shirt that I have not washed yet. So give me the Panthers.
Also, I got to say this real quick to you, Coach. I'm so tired of everyone calling him Tyler Heineke. That's for everyone who's been doing this.
It's Taylor Heineke for the longest. The legend from Atlanta, Georgia.
So many people say Tyler, and I'm like, nah, that's my name. I know it's Taylor, guys. Come on.
Taylor, yeah.
By the way, Cool is not very happy about us all picking the Eagles.
KOD.
I'm gonna have to go Carolina here also. Okay. So clean sweep on that one.
It's all good, cool. I'm trying to be in second place by Monday, so you know what I'm saying.
So cool say he's taking the Jets, man. He's taking the Jets.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
He believes in Flacco.
Yes. 9 years later.
All right, we got the Colts at the Bills.
I'm going Bills.
Yeah. Bills.
Yeah, I'm going Bills also. They got to have that bounce back. We got the Lions, the now 0-8-1 Lions against the Browns.
Chubb's back, Browns.
Yeah, give me the Browns. Yeah.
Cool also took the Panthers, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Who you got, Box? You got Browns too?
Yeah, I'm going Browns. I've tried to give the Panthers or the Lions credit a couple times. We're going to get that first win. They keep letting me down, so I'm just going to be wrong the week they win. I'm not picking them again for the rest of the season.
I keep teasing Dom. Because Dom's like, oh, they're going to get a win this season. I'm like, I tell you what, I think they might go out there and get you another tie this season.
I think they peaked last week. I think they peaked last week. So,
yo.
All right. 49ers at the Jags. Obviously, I'm going to the Niners.
Yeah, give me the 49ers because your boy Urban Meyer can't go home this week.
Yeah, next week though. Next week.
Right.
Let's get it. So Cole also took the Bills. He'll he's obviously going to be about 20 seconds behind us on picks. So I'll just kind of catch you guys up as he posts them. You've got
Urban going back up north for them dances, huh?
Yeah, he going for more than just some turkeys this week.
Cool's also taking the Browns.
Okay.
All right, so we got the Texans at the Titans.
Titans.
Yeah, definitely
Titans. You know.
I feel so bad for Houston Texans fans, bro. I
Right.
know they expected it this season. It's just, man,
yeah,
it's rough for them. It's rough.
So the game that I think is going to potentially mean the most in terms of playoffs in the NFC this week, anyways. Packers at the Vikings.
You go Pack, go.
Yeah, I'm going to go Packers.
Skull.
Uh-oh.
Upset. I believe in Kirk Cousins, my former quarterback.
Okay.
in his home game.
It's gonna be
Lambeau is different, but
it's gonna be close though. This is just how it goes. Minnesota plays everybody tough. You ain't blowing Minnesota out. Minnesota's gonna hang in there.
That is true.
Yeah, I just feel like, Green Bay's defense has been playing so much better that I feel like they're going to be able to slow Minnesota's offense down a little bit. So that's going to be the question mark. Now, if Minnesota is able to run with Dalvin Cook, then this could be a completely different situation. So that's going to be the big question mark, but I'm still going to go Green Bay.
It's crazy. This defense, we lose Mike Patton. You get Joe Barry. He's done a great job. And we have been doing all this without Jair Alexander and Za'Darius Smith. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost makes you worry that as you get those guys back, that it might mess with the chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to think about, getting guys of that talent back and you're worried that it might mess your team up.
I tell you what, the most surprising thing to me, and it's not that he's played good this season, it's that he just hasn't been abysmal, has been Kevin King. If Joe Barry can make Kevin King even look like a mediocre player, wow, credit to him.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, we got the Ravens at the Bears.
I'm going Baltimore. But this is one of those games that if Baltimore just, you talk about upset every week, won't it blow me away because it's in Soldier Field, but I'm going Baltimore.
Give me Baltimore as well. Yeah, I can't see back-to-back letdowns for this team.
Yeah, I'm also going to go to Baltimore. My potential upset pick is actually going to be coming up here in a few picks.
Okay.
Next up, we got the Bengals at the Raiders.
I'll go Raiders. I just don't trust the Bengals. And not that I trust the Raiders a lot, but don't trust the Bengals. I'm going to go Raiders.
Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals too. I don't trust the Raiders at all.
I don't either.
Okay. It's basically two teams you don't really trust playing each other.
Right. Right.
If anything feels like a tie game, no, just kidding.
Yes, this is.
I mean, listen, we are basically in uncharted territory for the Bengals. We don't know what they're going to look like in late seasons where they're competitive yet. We know what the Raiders look like in late seasons when they're competitive.
For the last 2 years.
Yeah. So just based on history, I'm going to give the Bengals the benefit of the doubt here.
Okay. I'll go on that island on them Raiders.
All right. Next up, we got the Cardinals at the Seahawks.
Cardinals,
easily.
I'm going Seahawks.
Even with Colt McCoy.
This is my upset pick of the week. There's just those teams that they seem to kind of get each other, and I feel like Seattle is that team that matches up pretty well with Arizona.
As long as Russell Wilson's okay, as long as that finger's okay.
Yeah.
That's obviously he. I'm sure you got the rust off last week, which, by the way, I just have to say, man, if you got one guy coming off of COVID and another guy coming off of finger surgery, don't hype that game up.
Right.
I was promised a quarterback battle.
Yeah. Let alone he's got to go play in the cold with a
in
finger.
The snow.
Yeah, the snow. It's like you're not going to Miami for a game, like.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I'm not messing with y'all. Cowboys at the Chiefs.
Wow. This is game of the week for sure, though.
Yes.
Man, I'm sorry, Megan. I'm going Chiefs. I just think they kind of woke up.
Sorry, not sorry. Give me the Chiefs.
So I'm gonna tell you what I'm interested to see in this game. A couple weeks ago, we watched Denver attack Dallas's defense in a way that no one else has attacked them all year. And they didn't have to worry about that last week, but the Chiefs actually have the ability to attack you that way, especially with Travis Kelce playing much, much better right now. It seems like he's got his connection together with Mahomes again. I think that could spell serious trouble for this Dallas defense. I'm going to go Kansas City.
Okay. All three. So, Megan,
Sorry,
you
Megan.
might have the last laugh.
Hopefully not. Nah, it's all love.
So speaking of games against teams that we don't trust, the Steelers at the Chargers.
Oh my gosh. I'm going Chargers because like I said, Taco starting over TJ.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Don't trust that. That's what I don't trust. I'll go with the Chargers.
Even though it's going to be a home game potentially for this Steelers team because we know how charging home games are. But, yeah, give me the Chargers. They're inconsistent. They was inconsistent last week. They'll be consistent this week. So, give me the Chargers.
You know what? Sometimes I just want to go on vacation and be on a private island. I'm going to go Steelers.
Wow.
Oh.
Taco coming to eat.
If this game was on a Tuesday, man, it would be a lock. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, boy.
Taco Tuesday, bro.
Yeah.
All right, we got Monday night, the Giants at the Buccaneers.
Giants can get whipped up on Monday night, especially because Tampa's coming off that loss. Like, man,
Right.
nah.
I'm sorry the Giants we did that to them boys, but y'all gonna get the best of them. You're gonna get a Super Bowl effort from them. So give me the Bucks.
Most of these primetime games have been either surprises or close games, but like last night, I think that's what Monday night's gonna be like. It's gonna be a beatdown on Monday night.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so we have a special because normally we do one Thursday night pick the night for the next week because the show's on Friday. We want to make sure we go and get that game in before the next week. But of course, it's Thanksgiving next week.
Okay,
Yeah.
So we actually get 3 games to choose from for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Which for once we might actually get a good Thursday game, right?
Yes.
True. Yeah, true.
You got 3 options here, so one of them's got to be good.
Yes.
We got the Bears at the Lions. Okay, so that's not the good game.
I'm going Bears.
Yeah, I just told you I'm not picking the Lions ever.
You
again,
going Lions?
I just told you I'm not picking the Lions ever again. So I'm going Bears.
I'm gonna go on the island on Thanksgiving afternoon and give me the Detroit Lions. Yes.
Bro, I don't know why, but watch this be another tie.
Right. Oh, Lord, not on Thanksgiving. No.
So by the way, cool took the Titans and the Ravens, by the way.
Same with us.
I don't know, man. You might be eating some turducken with that pick, man. We'll see. All right, we got the Raiders at the Cowboys.
A good Cowboys because I'm picking the Chiefs this week, so I think the Cowboys have a bad taste in their mouth for next week.
And the great words of Al Davis: "Just win, baby. Come on, come on, Las Vegas."
You going with the Raiders?
The Raiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Raiders to lose. I'm going with Dallas.
It's a personal thing with me. It's personal. So
I totally understand it. And look, I actually feel the exact same way because San Francisco and Dallas, we go way back. We've cost each other some rings. So trust me, there's no love lost there at all.
Correct.
And what actually might be our good Thursday night game, the Bills at the Saints.
So I think actually it will be a decent game because the thing against the Saints is you want to run the ball against the Saints, and they actually are good against the pass. And what are the Bills not good at doing? Running the football, and they're good at passing. So I think Josh Allen's going to have to be mobile in that game. I'm going to pick the Bills to win because I think they have to keep staying ahead of New England. And I also have the Panthers beating out the Saints to get to the playoffs when we're doing that little prediction segment. So I'm going to pick the Bills to win. Think it'll be a lot closer than it is, though.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, give me the Bills this matchup. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, I might be in a food coma. So the game's going to be probably watching me. But give me the Bills, unfortunately. But maybe I try not to eat. I try to eat less so I can stay up and watch this game. Yeah.
Well,
you get a little sleepy on that turkey.
Correct, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bills on this one too, man. The Bills offense should help you stay awake. Fortunately, the Saints do have Alvin Kamara, who's at least exciting, so you might at least be able to stay out for this game. And at least it's not the Raiders and the Cowboys at night. So
at least until the pumpkin pie is gone, and then you're going down, right?
Correct.
Fall asleep then.
So by the way, I think Cole is just like a little bit behind us, so he's catching up on some of the picks. So he went Steelers also.
Okay.
He also went Bucks and Lions.
Wow! All right.
Great man, thinking like.
So
the turkey.
So two of us try to go out on islands, and we over there and enjoying our time on the island. Here he come, forcing his way onto the island.
Lions fans about to have the best Thanksgiving ever if they get a W.
Right.
So he put
turkey's tasting good.
He put DFT. What is that? The Dallas football team? Like.
Oh yeah, yep. That's Hey, I call them the Arlington football team. I didn't want to throw no shade on the show tonight, but
the Arlington football team, yo.
Yeah.
We're just waiting on that Bills and Saints pick. Cool.
Uh-oh.
Let's see what he's gonna do.
He going Bills.
Yeah, he said he was going Bills earlier.
No.
Oh, you talking about the Thanksgiving game?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going Bills. I'd be shocked if he went with the Saints. So yeah, man. So appreciate you guys coming on and hanging out with me tonight. And just real quick, man, y'all want to tell people if they want to connect with you, where to find you, where they can come and hear you at, man. Tell them how and when to find you.
Yeah, you guys can catch me on Monday nights on the NBA Carousel hosted by Megan Price, Tuesday nights on the Gauntlet hosted by James Tatum, myself, Dom, and Jay Nelson. And then you can catch me on the Sip Off on Thursday nights and the NFL Carousel hosted by Eric Wilson.
Are those on Facebook, YouTube, both?
Both, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so just Google, search the names and you'll be able to find them.
Yep. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram on the Couch Coach Live. Also, with Tyler on the NBA Carousel on Mondays, covering the LA Clippers. Tuesday, Couch Coach Live at 8 o'clock.
Cover the Bulls.
Yep. And on Thursday night, the NFL Carousel, also covering the Washington football team. Friday night, so 8:30, we're doing a Washington Football Guys podcast. Tyler was on there a few weeks ago.
I was
on that one. So yeah, that's on Friday nights. And just check me out, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I usually post all my show clips in there on that social media platform.
That means check them out in 15 minutes, y'all.
Right.
But by the way, Cole did go with the Bills on Thanksgiving, just so you know. So unanimous. We can confirm that he has not gone insane. That he does still have some common sense. So
yeah, it was fun. Appreciate filling in for Cool. Cool. Yeah. Hope you are. I know you're out of the office, but you'll be back in the office next Friday. So everyone, tune in.
Yeah, he'll be in the office. I'll be out of the office. We're alternating. So I'm sure he might be reaching out to you guys to come fill in for me next week, or he may decide to change it up and have some different people on. Who knows, man? Who knows? We got a plethora of people over there in the Sideline Sports Network. So
yeah.
We definitely appreciate you guys being on, man. Like I said, we will have y'all back at some point this year. Maybe talk a little NBA since we didn't get to that tonight, and we'll see what's going on with that. But appreciate y'all being here, and we'll see everybody next week on the Play Call.